Hi guys, good morning from Sydney, Australia. I guess many of you have about late evening right now, but it is, well, 10:30 something in Sydney. I'm as usual a little bit late, but anyway, here we go. And sorry for a long time no see. Some of you may know that the reason for I had no live videos recently and no webinars, no online courses, just because of my absolutely bad, absolutely rubbish internet connection. This is a pretty common problem in Australia. Internet here is really bad, really expensive and really slow in most of the houses, but finally we got it. It's a government initiative. They started it a few years ago. They created a new company with a new equipment and so on and so forth. So they are installing a new internet network around the country. So hopefully we'll be fine. So that's the first live with our new internet. Yes, we got it. We got a new internet. And now it is, well, the speed what we already noticed and experienced and loved this so much. It's about 20 times higher than we had previously. So now it's easier for me to upload videos to YouTube, or I hope it will be easier for me and nice and better quality videos for my live videos. So I'll do much more next year, and this is the first try. So if you can share your feedback, how can you see me, how can you hear me, is it better than before, than it was before during the year? Please tell me so I'll know. And yes, I thought that since I got so many requests and questions from you guys during the last year, well, if I measure the amount of this request for different topics, I'd say that the question, which paper to use, which paper is better to make paper flowers, where can you buy your papers, where can we get our papers? This question is the you know, that's the broadcast is beautiful and sound is crisp and clear. Wow, thank you. I know, Michelle, that you know this for sure, because Michelle, Petals of Promise, she experienced not only a few hour webinars, online webinars, but also a online course. She was in our trial group in August, and yeah, the connection was really, I would like to say so, but reality, that was really bad. So that's really good to know that now it is much better. So thank you, Michelle. So the most frequent question from my experience last year was about papers. I can talk about papers for hours and days, but I think that, well, I already announced that this live will be short, because the only, well, and the main thing you need to know about papers, that most of the paper florists, experienced ones, they are really like, when they hear this question, where do you buy your papers from, which paper is better to use, which paper is better for paper flowers, they like, I don't know what to say, because when you already have a little bit of experience in paper flowers making, you understand, you realize that all papers are suitable for paper flowers making, except the only one which normally you can find in the offices here and office printers, where those, well, in GSM it is 80 GSM grams per square meter. Very fine papers you normally print all your documents on. Not fancy ones with any coating, but normal, regular white papers. And you know what? So many suppliers, paper suppliers, they sell these papers in color. Yes, they are available, and I can show you. I'm not kidding. This is my printer, and this is the paper. Well, you can't feel it, you can't understand this on the video, but it is thin. It is absolutely same paper you can find in any office, in any printer, in white. But there was a time in my paper flower career when I was silly enough thinking, well, how many of other people do, I was thinking that this paper will be good enough. So I bought a few packs, and each pack is let me think, I think about 200 sheets, and I got them in so many different colors. So can you imagine, even if we count 5 colors, 200 sheets, so I get about 1000 sheets of papers in different colors, but they are not suitable for all the paper flowers you can make, but they are still suitable. However, I do not make this type of flowers. Sorry, these are kids. This is school holidays time here in Australia, and my kids are home and they invited their friends, so I said, please do not interrupt me, I'll have a live video with my followers, but they're still screaming there. So you can make flowers, but they are more that origami, or yeah, I would say more about origami type flowers, where you have lots of folds, so each flower has so the petals, they are not like this, one separate petal which have to hold the shape we created. But when you fold and flowers are flat and they have a few layers of paper in one petal, this paper is the best to go with. And lots of paper suppliers, they have this kind of papers in so many colors. They have bright palette with all colors of the rainbow, and they have pastel palette, so you can find a lot. Just find the good paper supplier in your country. So, well, now what I do, I print my invoices, I print my receipts when I purchase something and I need to, when I have an electronic receipt for my purchase and I need to keep it for my further tax returns, so I print them on colored paper because I just need to utilize it somehow. But the next type of paper is a cardstock, and cardstock can be in different thicknesses. But what the cardstock is, that's just a regular paper, same as this the thin one for printers, but it is just a little bit thicker. Well, it is not a board. I would say that we can start calling paper a board when it is 200 to 50 GSM. Well, you know, we have a different system in pounds, but I'll post here in the stories or in the post a table, the converter. Well, you can Google this converter from GSM to pound, and you will understand what thickness it is in your convenient figure numbers, right? So this flower is made using regular cardstock, which is obviously thick paper, and in this case it is, I'd say it is 160 GSM. Well, I have a pretty wide collection of cardstocks, and I buy them from different suppliers here in Australia, and they are either in 140 or 160 GSM. I found that this thickness is really nice to work with different types of flowers, but what I'll tell you so you understand, You actually can work with any paper, really. If you have an experience, if you have the right template, the right and you choose the right type of flower for this particular paper and the right size of flower for this particular paper. So that depends. So I can work even with these 80 GSM papers, but I won't make neither this nor, well, obviously 70 centimeters inside this huge flower using that papers. The bigger flower you make, the thicker paper you'll need. Sometimes I can say, yes guys, I have a pretty big collection of cardstock in 140 to 160 GSM thickness. But for some flowers, for some orders, probably you saw a few posts ago, I posted a huge peony flowers which are 70 centimeters in size. Can you imagine? I used 200 GSM cardstock for them because the petals are wide, they are that size, and I wanted them to keep the shape nicely. So thin paper won't do this job for me, right? So I needed to use really thick cardstock. For the roses, where we have, and especially small size roses, where we have so many petals and so many curls and folds and all this stuff, you cannot go with 300 GSM board. I won't go even with 200 GSM. I know that some girls use pretty thick cardstock. I don't know what's the reason. Maybe just because that's the only paper, that's the only cardstock they can get from their local paper supplier, and that's okay if this is the reason. But if you have variety of papers available, please, really, roses have so many petals and they are so they are connected to each other, and you can even press your on top of the rose. I do not care when I post my roses, I do not bubble wrap them because they are sturdy enough. This flower is not that much sturdy because if I press on top of this flower, I will more likely damage it, right? With the rose, I will damage just only the edges of these center petals. That's it. The whole thing will stay because it is, can you imagine how much paper in between all these parts? So a lot. So they are really sturdy even if you use thinner papers. And when you work with small size roses, it's even easier and more convenient to work with thinner papers. So if you have a cardstock available in 110, 120 GSM, go with it for these small roses. For bigger roses, like these ones, I still use 120, 130, 140 GSM, and only if I make a rose big in size, at least 50 centimeters, I may go with 200 GSM, but that depends. That depends because if my customer says that I want these roses to use and reuse and reuse and reuse because I'm a event stylist, so I will use them on different events and then I'll pack them back to boxes and then unpack again and reuse them again. Well, in this case I would probably use 200 GSM cardstock even for the big and for medium sized roses, so to make them even more sturdy so they last longer. But if I know this is just one time event, and sometimes that happens, especially with big event stylists, well, unfortunately, well, I always ask my customers, and either end customers who own the flowers or those who make the styling, what you will do with these flowers afterwards. I do not actually care. I do not even expect them to say we can return them to you because I don't need them. Sometimes they are in very specific colors, so I have no any other customers to buy them from me. But very often, unfortunately, they say we'll jack them to the bin. That's it. Because this is one-time event, and then after midnight a special crew will come to this venue and they will just pack down everything. For fresh flowers, they will throw them in one bin. For paper flowers, they will throw them in recycle bin, and that's it. And I understand that the only thing my flowers need to survive through is delivery, setup, and just a couple of hours on a backdrop. Can you imagine? What for should I use thick, expensive, and hard to work with cardstock in 200 or maybe even more GSM? There's no any reason. So I can go even with these 80 GSM papers because this will work fine. They won't be sturdy, just the only difference. So you can manage this. But to start managing this, you need to have a little bit of experience in paper flower making. You need to either get this experience just trying and throwing your flowers, trying and throwing and spending months and months and months, or you can get a few right size and type and shape templates. You can learn a few techniques from experienced paper florists where they explain, for this paper flower I use this type and thickness of paper, and this is a technique I use. So you make this flower in the proper way, and then you start experimenting for this particular flower, for this particular template and the technique you learned. You can start trying, well, what if I make this rosebud using this 80 GSM paper? Yes, looks good, but no, not sturdy enough. Then you try this particular flower again, particular template and the technique you learned, but with 200 GSM papers, and you find, oh yeah, Anastasia was right, because it's really hard to work with, and well, too much. So probably yes, I will stick to something in between these thicknesses, right? So you will find your convenient paper to work with for this particular flower, because once you decide to make this flower using this template, using this technique, but in bigger size, you will find out that, oh no, Anastasia was wrong, this 140 GSM paper doesn't work. No, Anastasia wasn't wrong, just because for this size, this type of paper, for that size, different type of paper. So you can experiment with different types, thicknesses of papers, trying different templates and techniques and different flowers. But believe me that it's better to start with a regular cardstock. Well, at least thinking, you know, in terms of money, because even I have about over 3 years of experience in paper flowers making now, and I still, when I start making a new flower using my own template, or sometimes I buy templates from different paper florists, sometimes, well, and that's not a secret, sometimes I want to try something new. I just can see this flower, how she could make it, and I buy the template, and I will never resell actually this template. So even if you find a flower, a nice flower on my Sydney Paper Flowers account where I make and sell flowers, and you may ask me, I want to buy this template, and I'll tell you this is not mine and I'm not selling it, I'm just using it. There are just a few of them, but I still have them. So but the reason why I'm saying this, when I try the new template from someone else on my own, even when I create a new template, I never go and use expensive designer papers you mostly see on my Sydney Paper Flowers account, because that's really expensive. One sheet of A4 size paper, I'll show you. For example, I'll show you this pretty modern, really. Can you see that shiny design, metallic coated paper? It is one sheet of A4 size. A4 size is, I'll show you. It is, can you see this? It is 8 1/4 by what's this? 11. What's that? 11.5 inches. This sheet of paper, metallic coated, nice in violet color. That was actually ultraviolet, was a color of the year of this still 2018, by Pantone, named by Pantone. So it is pretty expensive. It cost me $1 a sheet. Well, almost about 80 cents. I'd say 80 or 90 cents if we include GSM. Oh well, just GST, of course. And this is when I buy this from a bulk supplier. What bulk supplier means that their prices a little bit lower than the prices in retail shops. But what does it mean for me who buy this? In order to get this price, I need to get a few packs. You cannot buy just a few sheets. Well, at least this is how it works in Australia. I buy 250 packs of A4, and in order to get the best price, and in order to get not free shipping, but at least to get fair shipping. So I cannot buy papers for $50 and pay shipping $20. My paper becomes really golden. So if they have a flat rate shipping cost for a particular amount of paper, I would better go with a few $100s order for paper, just to pay, well, let's say about $30 for shipment within Australia. So in this case, I pay mostly for paper, not for shipping costs. So each paper order I place with my bulk paper suppliers, it is around a few $100s, and very often close to $1,000. So if you are a just newbie, just recently started paper artist, come on, that's not a good advice from me to buy from these bulk suppliers. Really, there are a few shops around, even here in Australia, you can find, well, maybe not this color paper, not this color, but nice, beautiful colors. For example, this one, this nice navy, still shiny, still metallic coat, absolutely the same quality. But retailers, they sell these papers in packs of 25 sheets. And one pack costs about, well, I don't remember because I do not buy pretty often now from them, from retailers. Still do sometimes, but one pack will cost you around $20, and there will be 25 sheets. You can imagine, yes, it's still less than a little bit less than $1, but at least you do not need to buy for a few $100s, right? You can buy only one pack for 25, or not 25, for $20, right? Or two packs, so $40 together, and you do not pay for postage shipping, right? You pay just only for your bus ticket to get this retailer. If we speak about Australia, it is Lincraft, it is Spotlight, and of course it is Officeworks. These are huge retailers, and they are in different suburbs. You can get something from them online, but I really highly recommend you to go to find the biggest shop around you and find papers there. But they actually have all of them. They have both cardstock range and designer papers range, and I won't recommend you guys to ask me, give me online supplier details. We will purchase from Australia, because there in Czech Republic we do not have nice papers. Come on guys, each country has good paper suppliers. In Czech Republic especially, because it is in Europe, and I've been there 1.5 years ago in Prague, and in the center of the city is nice, absolutely super nice shop, the paper shop, which sells widest range of papers, cardstocks, papers, colored, bright colors, pastel colors, design and metallic coated, different papers. And well, and they are even cheaper than in Australia, and I bought a lot from them when I was there. I brought a huge suitcase to me. You just need to Google it. Google as metallic coated papers or designer papers, or you can go to the company in your city, to the printers companies, which make, well, obviously you should Google it before to find where are they located, the companies which print invitations, the wedding invitations or special event paper stuff, and you'll find that they use nice papers for this. At least you can ask them, hey guys, I try to do something different, not wedding invitation, don't worry about this, I won't be your competitor in a few months, but I want to find the paper source here in our city, can you please help me? And I'm pretty sure they will share their supply of paper, or sometimes they may sell paper. So this is the way how you can find where to get papers in your city. But for sure, do not even try to purchase papers online from Australian shops, neither bulk suppliers nor from retail shops, because the postage to your country, to your city, will be just, will be huge, and this will make the price per sheet of your papers really crazy. It won't worth it. Try to find papers in your country and in your city. It's even better. And if you just start making flowers, first of all, start using guidelines from Paper Florist. You get your templates and video tutorials from. They will advise you which papers to use. Start trying on a cheaper cardstock, because you know what? You probably saw this post from me here about my bright project on the boat ceiling. They were absolutely amazing, beautiful flowers. I'll post much more, and I promised you a live video about how we attached flowers to the ceiling. I'll do this, but all the flowers, believe you or not, but all the flowers in this project were made using just regular cardstock. Just a few flowers, I would say, yes, by the way, in this violet color, because we needed a particular shade of violet, they were made from designer papers, but it's just a few flowers, and a few flower centers. They were made using designer papers, just again because I needed to add a specific shade of color. So yeah, the rest was made using just cardstock, and flowers are absolutely beautiful. So there's nothing wrong with the cardstock, because very often I hear from you guys, tell us where we can get this paper, what's the name of this paper, which paper you use, because your flowers look so pretty. My flowers do not look as pretty as yours. Believe me guys, the secret is not in this particular violet designer paper. The secret is in the right template and in the right technique you can learn. If you know the technique and if you have the right template, you will make flowers, absolutely nice ones, using just regular cardstock, which is, I'm 200% sure is available from your local office supplies shop in your country and in your city. So I will post today a few pretty well-known suppliers, huge supplies of paper in US, and well, I can name them now. This is Kelly's Papers and Michael's. You can find lots of papers there. I haven't been there, but I saw lots of information about them, and they have a nice website. You can find out lots of information there. You can even order, if you are in US, you can order papers online from them, from both of them. Unfortunately, they do not ship to other countries. However, I know one lady here in Australia who mentioned recently that somehow she found the way how to ship these papers from US to Australia, and she said, I'm so happy, I'm so lucky. Well, I won't do so. Even if I ask her how she did it, I won't do so, because I can't imagine how much I will pay for postage. No, that's not my way. I really do not recommend you guys to do this. However, if you think that this is the only chance, and if you tried absolutely everything in your country, in your city, and you can't find, well, just try Michael's. Try to email them saying, I'm a paper florist here in this small country and I need your papers, can you please help me? Probably they will, because this lady in Australia, she got it. But believe me, when I started, I thought, well, there's no nice papers in Australia. No, once you start looking for, googling and buying papers everywhere when you can find them. For example, when I travel, very often I visit all these paper suppliers in different countries and cities, and even here around Australia, sometimes I can visit a $2 shop and find small packs of papers. Yes, in maybe not in the right thickness, but oh, that's such a nice shade. I don't know what I will make it, but I'll buy. And I buy a few packs, and they sit for a while in my drawers in the studio. And one day I either create the flower or I find the project for this particular paper thickness, for this particular paper shade, and I make flowers using this paper which I bought a few months ago. Yeah, so this is, I think, the best I can share with you about papers. The main information you need to think about, that all papers are suitable for paper flowers making. That the only difference is, for different sizes and types of flowers, different papers suitable. And the bigger flower is, the thicker paper you should use for it. The smaller flower, the thinner paper will work. I'm happy to go through your questions and to answer them if there are any. Oh gosh, so many comments. You still can ask if you have something in mind. And do you like your job? Greetings from Serbia. I love my job. Well, I've probably posted a few times here that I have been an HR manager in a big company for about 10 years, I guess. And here in Australia, I switch it like this to just sitting home making paper flowers, and I love it much more. Argentina, Guatemala. Hi guys. There's actually, your flowers are beautiful, thank you. 240 GM2 you think is much? You probably meant 240 GSM. Well, again, this is what I just said about depending what kind and size of flower you will be making. If you work on a huge peony, like I did recently, 70 centimeters, this is, I cannot even show the size here. This is about like this, peony flower, go for it. 240 GSM will be nice because it will hold the shape nicely for pretty long time. For this rose, no, I won't. It will work. it will work. But you will hate this template, this Rose, and myself, and me, saying she was wrong. She said that this will be fine. No, it won't. For big Rose, 21 by, well, I guess 21 by 29 centimeters. This is a A4 size paper in centimeters, right? I don't speak English. Sorry. No, I don't speak Portuguese. Sorry, guys. But I love this page. Spanish. No, sorry. No. I speak only Russian, English, and a little bit Tatar. She's very cute. Thank you. In Brazil, have a nice store. Yes, that's absolutely right. Just follow this lady. Taina, well, look, I still don't know how to pronounce your name correctly. Taina, this lady with the big sweater, because I know this girl and she has actually a nice online shop in Brazil. And there was once last year, when it was, Taina, that was about 2 years ago, right? She even sent to me here to Australia, to Sydney, a pack of her papers from her shop just to try out. They all are beautiful, good quality, and yes, they are designer papers. So if you are in Brazil, this is a shop you need to follow and work with. Nice quality, great price, and go for it. And she speaks Portuguese, right? I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, that's in Brazil. Oh, I'm really happy, girls, you found each other. Hello from Serbia. Hello, Serbia. Hello from Canada. Your flowers are the gold standard of paper flowers. Thank you. Hi from New York, from the US, and from Spain. Yeah, so here we go. So there were a few posts about paper shops around the world. As I started to collect them. I speak Portuguese and English. Great. So you can see, guys, that if you're in US, it's absolutely easy, because I'll mention once again in the post Michael's and Kelly's paper shops where you can get your papers online. In Brazil, here we go. We have a shop from Taina, where you can get your designer papers from. And I think if she has no like something like in cardstock range or something, I don't know what she has currently, probably she will advise you where else you can get, or maybe she can add something to her current stock. In Australia, already named, that's Lincraft, this is Officeworks and Spotlight, these 3 retailers. It's great retailers, yeah, 3 great retailers with wide range of papers to start working with. And once you are pretty experienced paper florist, I'm absolutely sure you will find other bulk suppliers, and well, you will find your own way. You will be absolutely fine. And in other countries, sorry guys, I will try my best to collect the information where to get papers from. If you are from other countries and you already know your retail or bulk suppliers, just send me a direct message. So I'll share this with all our followers here, so we will be able to help more people around your colleagues. So I will post this here on PaperProTutorials. Hi, what about Italy? I do not know any supplies in Italy, but you know what? This is the, well, you live in the best country, because the best papers, they come from Europe. The best papers are French, actually. So you can Google some shops in France, I guess, And some papers are heard of from Italy. I mean, the companies, the paper producers, the producers of the paper, they are in Italy. Well, yes, of course they have affiliated companies in China, so they create colors, textures, techniques, and blah 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 in Europe because they are their headquarters, and they produce in bulk in China for Asia and Pacific region. Probably. So the papers I buy here in Australia, they come from China originally, but they are Italian, Italian, French owners, companies. Where do you buy the paper flower punches that your kids use? What brand it is? I do not buy them now. They are from 3 years ago when I started. In Australia it is I don't remember. Some of them are from Lincraft, some of them are from again these 3 suppliers I use normally: Lincraft, Spotlight, and Officeworks. I have a pretty big collection of these punches, but every time when I go through my tools, every time I think, oh well, no, I won't use this and this and this punch or any other tool anymore, and I donate them to schools or daycares where my kids are. So currently I have just a few, but yes, they are really nice. Some of about butterflies, some of them are making tiny flowers. I can show you a few again, but again, you can Google. Lots of them are on eBay, lots of them are on Amazon. The brand which I really like here in Australia, it is available from these retail supplies. They are Sullivan's, that's the name of the brand. So you can, if you're in Australia, you can try them. They're good quality ones, they last long, well, for these 3 years actually. Or you can try others. What are you gonna show us today? Well, actually, we've been talking about papers. Nothing I plan to show you today, but you probably noticed these new rose buds. I just finished today a video tutorials about them, and this is a new template I've created over this Christmas days. This will be one-piece rosebud template, and the video tutorial will be available to watch for free on my YouTube, and template will be available from our shop, and I'll post this in a couple of days because I just need to finish the template in SVG format, and I'll announce here that it is available for purchasing. Also, I created and finished the template for this bow, and I finished a free video tutorial which again will be on our YouTube, and template will be available from our shop. New big rose, new template, absolutely new template, and a little bit new technique. The video tutorial will be again available on our YouTube and template from our shop. So all 3 videos are taken, and I just need to finalize all these bits and pieces in Flower Manual, and I'll announce here that they are available to get. Yes, please show us some of your paper flowers hole punches. I'm in the USA. Yeah, it will be easy for you to get them because Amazon has a huge range of paper punches. Just to mention, if you have no cutting machine, any cutting machine, paper punches is a nice tool for you because it will work for a long time, it will last for a long time, it will do lots of small jobs for you. It will help you to work with all your offcuts. I'll show you. Very often the size of offcuts I have is like this. Can you imagine? This is my hand and this is the offcut. I never throw them away because I can use either my punches and make let me show you. Yeah, here we go. Can you see this? Oh, I think it's better for me to stand because otherwise you see all these comments on my face when I'm sitting. Can you see these tiny flowers? These tiny flowers, they are made using paper punches. I will die if I cut all of them either with scissors or even with my cutting machine. No way. So I use that size of cuts and I either punch, not I, actually my kids do. So my kids punch these tiny flowers, and you can use them as separate flowers. Well, if you make paper flower bouquets, they work really well. You can shape them this way, and it can be a nice flower center for small flowers, right? So if you have lots of offcuts and if you really do care about not throwing them, punches is a great way to use this, but just be very careful. Do not buy 10-15 punches straight away. Just find one, try and find out, is it really nice punch for you? Do you really use frequently this shape? Do you really like it? Does it really work well? If yes, then find another shape, because I was really silly. I spent so much money on all these punches, and I had not only flower punches, I got different, you know, snowman, a bird, and this. I never used them. Well, not never. I used them maybe a few times in my life, and they're sitting in my cupboard, and in a few years I donated them to the school. But you know, you saw this video, I'm sure, here at PaperProTutorials, that I use my Big Shot machine, and this works almost like a punch because it cuts particular shapes. You just buy dies like this, and you can cut circles or flowers or whatever, whatever you get, the die you get, and that's easy again. So I use either punches for these offcuts or my dies for Big Shot, because can you see that fits? So if I use this die, I will get the pack of nice paper circles. And again, do not go silly. Do not buy all of them. They are pretty expensive actually for Big Shot. The machine is easy to buy. It cost me about $80 Australian dollars, I guess. And each die, this small one, and is it just circles, was about maybe 15 or so. Bigger size and more intricate shapes, they may be even up to $50 one. Can you imagine if you buy 5 of them? It will be even the cost of your cutting machine, which you can buy one cutting machine and cut all the shapes. So it depends, you know. But I have, you know, I have Cameo machine. I have 2 Cameo machines, old and new one. I have Big Shot machine. I have punches. I have everything. But I juggle with all this because I cut, and also I cut with scissors, because for easy and very smooth shapes, I cut for petals, flowers, I cut them with scissors. For intricate shapes, petals, or especially flower centers, I cut with Cameo. For offcuts, I work with punches and Big Shot. So it's up to you, and it depends on the purpose. I hope this is more or less all what I wanted to say. Yeah, all right. I'll I'll try to find my punches. Fiskars has a nice punch to make hydrangeas. Right, Fiskars is a great brand, you know. I use all my scissors. They are Fiskars brand. I love them so much. I have a few other tools from Fiskars, and I saw their punches, but well, when I actually opened Fiskars punches for me, I was already too dedicated to professional cutting using cameo machine, so I didn't get any of them. Have you ever had a custom die on the Big Shot created? Oh, there, that's a good question. I need to get me a punch out. Yes, I got this, and I only one. And that was 3 years ago. For those of you who heard my story, how I started my business, how I get into flowers, paper flowers business, I started this and that and that, and there was this short period of my life when I've been running a paper packaging business. I've been working for photographers, making small tiny boxes and different kind of packaging for them to pack either back of their prints or USB sticks. And I decided, some of them they were working still on with CD discs, so they wanted to have a folio where you can put the disc inside, you know, where, on this plastic, how do we call it, plastic holder, so you push the disc into. So I needed to cut out the circle with a tiny, you know, loop, so it actually looks like a shape of Christmas tree decoration, like sphere with circle with a tiny loop at the top or at the side. And I used really super heavy thick board for this, so obviously I couldn't cut it using my electronic cutter, so I thought that this Big Shot machine will take it, and I ordered a special die to custom made from, and to post it to me from US. That costed me just a fortune. And you know what I found when this die came to me? I found that my measurements were wrong. So it didn't work actually for CDs, for my photographers, for my packaging business, but I still use this die, and I cut my paper flowers bases, and I'll show you. Yeah, actually I needed to show you. So this is how I use it. So it is a circle. Well, yeah, don't mind this. So I use it as a backing of my flowers, so that's another side I use. Sometimes I use this die, so it works, actually works, but it cost me, I think, about $200 to produce and about $50 to ship from US to Australia. So $250 I paid for a custom-made die in this shape and size, just one. Yeah, all right. This is actually what I wanted to tell you about. If you have any specific questions about papers, which papers do you still have questions after watching this video, you still can direct message me. You still can ask me, and I'll try to collect the questions which we still have, and maybe make another video answering this question. But I hope, guys, you got this message that there's no wrong papers. There is a wrong idea to make this particular flower using this particular paper. You just need to understand which paper works best for what flower, and that's it, and you will make nice flowers. In order to help you We have lots of video tutorials on our YouTube channel. We have lots of templates and video tutorials in our shop. You are absolutely welcome. And stay with us. Stay tuned for much more live videos to come during the next year. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all of you, from my studio to your families, to your businesses. I'm here to help you guys, and thank you for watching. Have a lovely day. Bye bye.